Welcome to my channel. Kindly be presented with the Compensation for Occupational Health and Safety Act presentation with Polyphant Knowledge and Skills. By the way, this is your host, PH Oliphant. Hi everyone. Welcome to the Health and Safety Awareness. Today we are going to take a look at the application of the Compensation for Occupational Health and Safety Act. All the questions that you may have concerning the compensation of employees injured at work will definitely be answered today. Compensation for Occupational Health and Safety Act. The Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Disease Act, number 130 of 1993, intends to provide for compensation for disablement caused by occupational injuries and disease sustained or contracted by employees in the course of their employment, or for death resulting from such injuries or disease, and to provide for matters connected therein. And then there comes the Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Disease Amendment Act number 61 of 1997. Why Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Disease Amendment Act number 61 of 1997? The Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Disease Amendment Act number 61 of 1997 intends to amend the Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Disease Act number for 1993 so as to define, substitute, or delete certain expressions, to transfer certain functions to the Director General, and to make the Director General accountable for the compensation fund, to allow the Director General to delegate his or her powers, to alter the Commissioner's function, to provide for payment of compensation to assessors' dependents, to further regulate the composition of the compensation board, to further regulate the assessment of employers, to provide for the payment of interest on overdue assessment, to further regulate objections and appeals against decisions of Director General, to provide that the minister must consult with the compensation board before he or she make regulations, to further regulate the manner in which compensation is calculated, to effect certain textual alteration, and also to provide for matters concerning therewith. Objectives of the COIDA. The main objectives or the main aims of the COIDA are to provide for compensation to be paid to an employee or employee's dependent in the event of occupational injuries or disease, including death as a result of the injuries or disease contracted in the course of employment, to establish a compensation and reserve fund under management of the Commissioner, to which all employers must contribute, to replace the courts as the remedy for adjudicating whether the Commission's decision of the right to compensate was correct, and to guarantee the employees' right to benefits. When does COID Act apply? That is very important. The essential elements of the compensation system created by COIDA are as follows. An employee or dependent does not have to prove fault that the injury, death, or disease was caused by a negligent or intentional act on the part of his employer or anyone in order to be entitled to compensation in terms of COIDA. So, the basis of the claims for compensation is simply that the employee was injured or died as the result of an accident arising out of or in the course of employment. That's all. So an employee is also entitled to compensation for an occupational health disease as defined in the COIDA, or for a disease which arose out of and in the course of his or her employment. This system amounts to a system called or so-called faultless liability. What that means, nobody is at fault. So Department of Labor is taking the what to call upon himself. So Compensation for Injuries and Disease Act, it replaced the common law. If an employee or dependent is entitled to compensation in terms of the COIDA, this section or the section 35 line 1 prevents the employee or dependent from instituting a common law claim against the employer on the grounds of employer's negligence. Thanks to COIDA for making life so easier for both parties. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our today's presentation on Compensation of Injuries and Disease Act. We hope you have benefited some useful information out of this presentation. Do not forget to like this video, subscribe and share this video to keep this channel alive, to keep this channel up and running. Do not miss the next video as we will be getting into duties or role of the employees and employers in terms of COIDA Act. Thank you very much. Till the next video. Bye-bye.